For our culture, this weekend we commemorate the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. God used his life to call out some of the unfruitful places in our culture and in our country. God used Dr. King to remind us that we can't be Christian and be prejudiced. That we can't love God and hate our brother. That we can't show favoritism based on race, color, gender, or class. That we can't use violence to settle our problems or settle our differences. And that we can't allow our greed to cause someone else's poverty. He used Dr. King to teach us that there is no justice for any until there is justice for all. Dr. King called then, and his life calls now, for us to measure our lives, our beliefs, our relationships, and even our politics by the example of Jesus. See, we have this terrible habit of seeing something that does look like Christ and allowing it to excuse what absolutely does not look like Christ. And yet what we see in Scripture is that's never permitted. God didn't look at David and say, you know what, your songs are beautiful, your worship is pure, you know what, I'm going to overlook those sinful places. Instead, he came to David and he confronted them. John the Baptist didn't go to Herod and say, thank you for letting us practice our religion. Thank you for letting me baptize. Thank you for letting Israel be safe within Rome's confines. He went to Herod and said, you should not have taken your brother's wife. Just because something looks like it has goodness in it does not give us the right to excuse all the things that are clearly unlike Christ. God uses His Word, His Spirit, and His people to call us back from that place, to hold us accountable and to raise our standard. I must be honest, this week as I've read different articles and different statements, I've seen so many people talking about how far we've come. And that's all well and good, but it doesn't excuse how far we still have yet to go. It also does not undo the fact that we started in a place we never should have been. See, it doesn't matter that we've come a long ways until we acknowledge we never should have been there. It's not a place we should have ever started, so we have no curve. We don't get to say, look how far we've come. Someone has to say, that is not where we belonged. So you don't get credit for coming out of the mire when you put yourself in the mire to begin with. The credit is given when we start marching to the purpose that we were created for. When we stop excusing how far we have to go by rejoicing over how far we've come. Being less than sinful is still sinful. It's not being fruitful, and it's not like Jesus. And so today, as a culture, as a church, and as individuals, we are all created to be like Jesus, to bear His image and then to multiply His image in the world we live in.